Chosen one, what if I told you that they now know exactly who you are? Your true name, your divine identity, has been revealed, and because of that, you are now in danger. But here's the truth. No matter how hard they try, they cannot stop you. For centuries, those in power have worked tirelessly to keep the chosen ones hidden. They fear what happens when you awaken. They know that once you step into your full power, the systems they rely on will crumble. Now, with your name uncovered, the enemy is desperate to silence you before you rise to your rightful place. They will try to intimidate you, confuse you, and distract you. But what they don't realize is that this revelation is exactly what you needed to fully awaken. They can't destroy what was meant to shine. In this video, I'll show you exactly why they are afraid of your name and identity. We'll reveal the signs that you're being spiritually watched and show you how to protect yourself so you can confidently step into your calling. Don't let them control the narrative any longer. Like this video, subscribe, and comment 77 below if you resonate with this message. Share this with anyone who needs to hear the truth. And if you find value in what we're about to uncover, click the super thanks button to support. Stay with me until the end, because once you learn why they can't stop you, you'll never feel powerless again. Why your name was supposed to stay hidden. You've always known there was something different about you. Maybe it was the way you saw the world, the way you felt things more deeply, or how certain moments in your life seemed to carry an almost magnetic pull. But there was also that lingering doubt, those whispers that perhaps you weren't meant to step forward just yet. You felt unseen, overlooked, or even misunderstood. And yet, in those quiet moments of reflection, you knew in your heart that your anonymity wasn't a failure. It was protection. Chosen one, you were meant to remain hidden, not because you weren't ready, but because the world wasn't. Now, as you sit here, hearing these words, you're beginning to understand that your time of waiting wasn't delay. It was preparation. The truth is, they've always feared what would happen if you truly stepped into your identity. You see, for centuries, names have carried immense spiritual weight. In ancient times, knowing someone's true name was believed to hold power over them. It wasn't just a label, it was a piece of their very essence. And for chosen ones, that essence is a beacon of divine light. If revealed too soon, it would be a light too bright for the world's shadows to handle. You've probably felt the tension that comes with standing out without meaning to, the sideways glances, the sudden hostility from people you barely know, the sense that something about you draws both admiration and resentment. These experiences are not random. They are the result of the energy you carry and the unseen forces that recognize it. You might have questioned why certain doors remain closed or why certain relationships never took off. But what you didn't realize at the time was that these so-called obstacles were actually safeguards. By keeping your name hidden, the divine ensured that you would have the space to grow, to learn, and to strengthen your foundation. In the Bible, we find countless examples of this protective hiding. Think of Moses, born at a time when Hebrew boys were being slaughtered, yet hidden away and raised in Pharaoh's palace. His true identity as a deliverer wasn't revealed until the appointed time. Or consider Joseph, sold into slavery by his brothers, hidden away in Egypt, only to later rise to a position of incredible influence. These stories aren't just ancient tales. They're archetypes of how divine timing works. Before Moses could lead his people out of bondage, he needed years of preparation. Before Joseph could save his family from famine, he needed to walk a path of obscurity and refinement. Your journey has followed a similar pattern. The years where you felt invisible were not wasted. They were the groundwork for the mission that lies ahead. Now, the veil has been lifted, and the world can no longer ignore your light. But what does it mean to have your name known? It means the universe has declared that you are ready. You might notice subtle shifts. People who once overlooked you now paying attention, opportunities that seemed distant suddenly appearing, and a newfound clarity in your purpose. These are not coincidences. They are signs that you are stepping into your full identity. The barriers that once kept you hidden are falling away, not because they were defeated, but because they are no longer needed. You have reached a stage where your light is strong enough to shine on its own, unshielded, unfiltered, and undeniable. With this revelation comes responsibility. Being known means being visible, and visibility can attract resistance. But here's the truth. They feared your name because they knew it carried power. And now that it's out in the open, they know they can't put it back. They may try to sow doubt or confusion, to make you question whether you're truly ready. But remember this, your name was never meant to stay hidden forever. The hiding was a season, not a sentence. As you step into the fullness of your identity, you will begin to see how the universe has been aligning events, people, and opportunities for this very moment. What once felt like a delay now reveals itself as perfect timing. It's natural to feel a mix of excitement and apprehension. After all, stepping into your true self can be intimidating. You might wonder, what if I'm not enough? But chosen one, let go of that fear. Every challenge, every setback, and every quiet moment of preparation has shaped you into exactly who you need to be. Now is the time to stand tall, to embrace your name and your calling without hesitation. True alignment requires trust. Trust in the divine plan, trust in yourself, and trust that the light within you is stronger than any shadow. This is your moment to decide. Will you hold back, or will you step forward boldly into the purpose that's been waiting for you? Comment hidden. If you resonate with this journey of being concealed until the right time, your name has power, and now that it's known, the world can no longer deny who you are. The time of hiding is over. It's time to shine. Signs that they have discovered your identity. At first, you might not even notice a shift. It starts subtly, like the faintest ripple across still water. But soon enough, you begin to pick up on the odd coincidences. Someone casually mentions a piece of information about you that you never shared with them. A stranger's glance lingers just a little too long. Old friends suddenly seem uneasy in your presence, as if they know something you don't. Have you ever had that feeling of being watched, even when no one is around? That sudden, inexplicable awareness that all eyes are on you, even though you're just living your life as usual? This isn't your imagination. It's a sign that something has changed, that you're no longer invisible to them. Your identity has been uncovered, and now they're paying close attention. This awareness isn't always met with open hostility, at least not at first. Sometimes it starts with an unusual curiosity. People who once ignored you now seem intrigued, as if they're trying to figure out what's different about you. They'll ask probing questions or suddenly take an interest in your choices. It's as though they sense that you've stepped into a new energy, and they're both drawn to it and wary of it. You might notice an uptick in challenges that appear out of nowhere. Perhaps an old conflict resurfaces unexpectedly, or someone begins to undermine your efforts without a clear reason. These are not coincidences. They're a reaction to the light you're now radiating, a light that's become impossible to ignore. Scripture gives us glimpses of what happens when the chosen are recognized. Think of the story of Joseph and his brothers. Before Joseph revealed his full identity in Egypt, there were hints and signs that those around him could sense he was different. His brother's initial jealousy, Potiphar's wife's obsession, and even the cupbearer's eventual realization. All these moments point to the fact that Joseph's true nature was becoming clear. He wasn't just an ordinary servant or prisoner. He carried something unique, something that others could sense even before he fully stepped into his role. Likewise, when your identity begins to surface, the reactions of those around you will change. They might not be able to articulate it, but they know you're set apart, and that realization can bring both curiosity and opposition. Over time, the signs become more evident. People who were once indifferent may now seem threatened. You might encounter sudden resistance when you share your ideas or when you try to move forward with a project. Strange coincidences stack up. Conversations you didn't expect, obstacles you couldn't have predicted. It's almost as if a hidden hand is pushing back, trying to keep you from gaining momentum. Yet, in these moments of tension, you'll also find confirmation. Each challenge becomes a sign that you're on the right path, that your light is breaking through barriers that have stood in place for years. These signs aren't meant to scare you. They're meant to awaken you to the reality that your identity has been uncovered. Once you realize that these occurrences are tied to your identity, the situation begins to shift. You no longer feel powerless. Instead, you see the patterns for what they are, a recognition of your unique calling. The enemy's resistance is not a reflection of weakness on your part. It's a testament to the strength of your light. The doubts and fears they try to sow are attempts to shake your confidence. but they're also proof that your energy is now impossible to ignore. The very fact that you've caught their attention means you're walking in alignment with your purpose. You've moved from the background to the forefront, and now your steps carry greater weight than ever before. With this recognition comes a deeper understanding. You realize that your identity isn't just a title or a label. It's a beacon that others can sense. It draws both those who will support you and those who will oppose you. The people who react strongly, either positively or negatively, are often mirroring the power of your presence. They may be drawn to your confidence and clarity, or they may feel unsettled by it because it challenges their own insecurities. This understanding allows you to remain calm in the face of opposition. You see it not as a personal attack, but as a reflection of profound energy you now carry. And as you step into this awareness, you'll find that their reactions lose their power to intimidate you. Comment watched. If you've experienced these subtle shifts, these moments when the world seems to take notice of who you really are, the signs that your identity has been discovered are not reasons to shrink back. They're reasons to move forward with even greater determination. Each challenge is a confirmation that you are on the right track, that your light is shining too brightly to be ignored. And as you continue on this path, you'll see that the very attention they give you only serves to highlight the power and purpose that lies within. Why they fear you stepping into power. At first, you might have wondered why they reacted to you the way they did. Their words grew sharper, their glances lingered with suspicion, and their tone shifted when you entered the room. It wasn't because you were doing something wrong. It was because you were changing. As you started to embrace who you truly are, they began to notice the strength emerging within you. This wasn't just a personal transformation. It was a spiritual awakening that they couldn't ignore. And as your light grew brighter, their fear grew stronger. They could see what you were becoming, even before you fully realize it yourself. The fear they feel isn't rooted in your past. They're not concerned with who you used to be. It's the future version of you that unnerves them. They see the potential in you to break free from the chains that have bound so many. For centuries, the systems of this world have thrived by keeping people unaware of their divine power, by sowing doubt, discouragement, and confusion. But when a chosen one like you steps into their full power, that control begins to crumble. Your awakening disrupts the balance of the status quo. By simply walking confidently in your calling, you challenge the foundations of the very structures they rely on to maintain their hold over others. That's why their resistance is so intense. They know that once you fully step into your power, the world around you will begin to change. Think of Esther, whose story reminds us of the transformative potential of stepping into divine authority. When Esther took her place as queen, she didn't just accept the position. She used it to save an entire people. Her bold decision to act was a direct threat to the plans of those who sought to destroy her people. In that moment, Esther's power wasn't just in her title. It was in her choice to stand firm and be a voice for truth. Her story illustrates why those in power fear individuals who step into their divine calling. Once someone embraces their role as a chosen one, the lies that have been carefully woven for generations begin to unravel. The truth cannot be contained, and those who once held power over others are forced to confront their own vulnerability. When you step into your power, the effect is undeniable. You don't even need to speak loudly or call attention to yourself. Your energy alone begins to shift the atmosphere. People who once followed the crowd start to question the status quo. Those who felt powerless find inspiration in your courage. It's as if a ripple effect moves outward, touching lives in ways you may never fully see. The fear they feel is not just for themselves, but for the system they built. They know that one awakened soul can lead others to their own awakening. And when enough people step into their power, the scales of influence shift completely. They fear you not just for who you are, but for the change you represent. This fear drives their actions, both subtle and overt. It's why they try to cast doubt on your abilities, why they plant seeds of insecurity, and why they attempt to isolate you. They want you to question your worth, to wonder if you're truly capable. They know that the moment you fully believe in yourself, their influence diminishes. The spiritual forces that have held so many in darkness rely on keeping the chosen ones unsure and divided. But as you walk in your truth, their grip weakens. This is why it's so important to recognize these tactics for what they are. They're not a reflection of your inadequacy. They're a testament to your potential. As you move forward, you'll notice a shift in how you perceive their fear. Instead of feeling discouraged by it, you will begin to understand it as a confirmation. Their resistance only underscores the fact that you're on the right path. It shows you that your power is real, that your calling is significant. You may even find a sense of empowerment in their attempts to push back. With each step you take into your true identity, you gain clarity, strength, and resilience. You'll see that their fear is not a barrier. It's a sign that your light is shining so brightly that it can no longer be ignored. Comment power if you felt this shift and sense their unease. Your journey into stepping fully into your power isn't just about personal transformation. It's about becoming a beacon for others. By embracing your calling, you show others that they too can rise above fear and doubt. Your awakening is not just for you. It's a spark that lights the way for those around you. With every step you take, you break down barriers and open doors for others to walk confidently in their own light. How to protect yourself from spiritual attacks. You've likely experienced a heavy weight that seems to settle on you when facing a spiritual attack. It's that sudden surge of doubt, that unexplained fear that creeps in when you're trying to move forward. You might feel as though your very foundation is being shaken, and it's not always easy to know where to turn. Chosen one, if you felt this, understand that it's not a sign of weakness. It's simply a call to prepare. These attacks aren't random. They're targeted. They come when you're on the brink of a breakthrough, when your light is shining just a little too brightly for shadows to handle. But the good news is you don't have to face them defenseless. There are powerful tools available to you, and once you understand how to use them, you can walk confidently, knowing you are protected. The first step in protection is recognizing that you're not fighting a physical battle. This is a spiritual one, and it requires spiritual tools. Prayer is one of your most powerful weapons. It's not something you turn to only in desperate moments. Instead, it's a daily practice, a consistent line of communication with the divine. By speaking words of protection over yourself each morning, you create a barrier that shields you from the forces trying to pull you down. Prayer not only reinforces your faith, but also reminds you that you're not alone. You're supported by something far greater than yourself, something that cannot be overcome by darkness. As you weave prayer into your daily life, you'll find a growing sense of peace, even in the midst of challenges. In addition to prayer, immersing yourself in truth is crucial. This truth comes from divine wisdom, from spiritual teachings that uplift and strengthen your resolve. When you fill your mind with truth, you create an inner fortress that no negative influence can breach. Imagine your spirit as a house. Each piece of truth you learn and internalize adds another brick to that structure. The more you build, the harder it becomes for anything to break through. You also need to consider the voices you allow into your life. Surround yourself with people who inspire and support you, those who encourage you to keep your light shining. When you have a circle of individuals who share your values and stand by your side, their strength becomes yours as well. Together, you create a powerful network of protection. But what about those who seem intent on tearing you down? You probably encountered them. People whose energy feels heavy, whose words cut deeper than they should. They might not even realize they're being used as vessels for harm, but their presence can still have an impact. That's where boundaries come in. Setting boundaries isn't about shutting people out entirely. It's about choosing how and when to engage so that your spirit isn't constantly under siege. When you establish healthy limits, you allow yourself the space to recharge, to maintain your light without it being dimmed by outside negativity. Boundaries give you the freedom to grow and strengthen without fear of constant attack. As you practice these disciplines, prayer, truth, and boundaries, you'll notice a shift. The attacks may not disappear entirely, but they will lose their power over you. No longer will you be thrown off course by a harsh word or an unexpected challenge. Instead, you'll stand firm, knowing that you are grounded in something far more solid than the chaos around you. You'll see these moments not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities to reinforce your protection even further. Each time you choose to respond with faith rather than fear, you strengthen the spiritual armor that keeps you safe. This journey isn't about isolation. It's about creating an environment where your light can thrive, where you can continue to grow without being constantly pulled back. With each step you take, you become more confident in your ability to navigate these challenges. You start to see them for what they truly are, attempts to keep you from fulfilling your purpose. But the more you learn to protect yourself, the more you realize that these attempts are futile. You are supported by divine forces that are far greater than anything that tries to stop you. Comment protected. If you've ever felt the need to establish spiritual boundaries in your life, as you continue to practice these principles, you'll find that the attacks lose their sting. Instead of feeling weighed down, you'll feel lighter, stronger, and more secure. By taking these steps, you're not just offending yourself. You're claiming the space you need to step fully into your calling. You're creating a life where your light can shine brightly, no matter what comes your way. What happens now that your name is known? Everything changes when your true identity is revealed. In the past, you may have felt invisible, as if the world didn't see you for who you really were. But now, you can no longer be ignored. The revelation of your name, your true divine name, shifts the atmosphere around you. They thought they could keep you hidden forever, but they were wrong. This unveiling doesn't weaken you. It makes you stronger. It confirms that you have a purpose, a calling that was meant to come to light at exactly this moment. You've always been set apart, but now the world can finally see it too. The time of waiting and hiding is over. When your identity comes to light, it's a powerful affirmation of everything you felt deep inside. It's as though the universe itself is saying, yes, you were right about who you are. This realization is both freeing and empowering. You no longer have to question your path or wonder if you're truly chosen. The very fact that your name is now known is all the confirmation you need. This is not just a random moment. It's a divine appointment. You were meant to step into the open, to fully own who you are and walk boldly into your purpose. It's not an accident that this is happening now. The timing is perfect. Consider the story of David, who began his journey as an unseen shepherd. No one thought much of him at first, but when the time came, he stood before Goliath not as an overlooked boy, but as a fearless warrior chosen by God. He didn't need to explain or prove himself. His actions spoke for him. The revelation of your name works the same way. Just like David, you are stepping into your role, and that role is one of undeniable strength and purpose. Your boldness in the face of opposition shows everyone that no enemy can stand against someone walking in divine alignment. This is your moment to be courageous, to own your power, and to show the world what you're truly made of. Of course, with this new visibility comes resistance. It's only natural. Whenever a chosen one steps into their full identity, there will be forces that push back. But here's the key: that resistance is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of significance. If they're fighting against you, it means you're on the right path. Each challenge you face now is proof that your light is shining brighter than ever. Instead of shrinking back, let that resistance remind you of your purpose. It's not meant to stop you. It's meant to sharpen you. You are no longer walking in shadows, and that bold step into the light will always stir up opposition. Embrace it as a part of your journey. The more they push, the more your strength is revealed. Resistance has a way of refining you, of making you stronger than you ever thought possible. You'll find yourself rising to challenges that once seemed insurmountable. And as you continue to walk in your true identity, you'll notice that others begin to follow. Your confidence becomes a beacon. You inspire those around you to question their own paths, to step into their own light. They see your courage, and it sparks something within them. This is not just about your journey. It's about creating ripples that extend far beyond yourself. Now that your name is known, you can no longer hide. But that's not a reason to feel vulnerable or exposed. It's a reason to feel empowered. You've waited for this moment, and now it's here. The days of wondering if you're enough, of second-guessing your calling, are over. The very fact that your name is out in the open is a reminder that you have always been enough. This is your time to step forward without hesitation, to own your identity, to walk with purpose and conviction, knowing that no force can stop you from fulfilling your destiny. Every step you take now carries the weight of intention. You're no longer wandering without direction. The path has been laid before you, and all you need to do is follow it with courage and clarity. The doubts and fears that used to cloud your vision are fading, replaced by a deep sense of purpose. You know who you are, and you know why you're here. The time for hesitation is over. This is the season for action, for standing firm, and for letting the world see the strength you've always carried inside. As your name echoes across hearts and minds, it becomes a symbol of hope and transformation. Others will look to you for guidance, for reassurance that they too can rise above their struggles. The example you set, the way you walk in confidence and humility, will inspire countless souls. The light that shines from you is not meant to be hidden. It's meant to illuminate the way for others. This is the impact you were born to make. This is a calling you were meant to answer. Don't fear the attention. Embrace it. Attention is simply an acknowledgement of your existence, a validation that your presence matters. By stepping into the light, you allow others to see what's possible. Your courage becomes a mirror for those who need reminding of their own strength. In being seen, you give others permission to be seen as well. This is a ripple effect of living boldly in your purpose. As you rise, you lift others with you. You've already overcome so much to get here. The trials that tested your resolve, the challenges that shaped your character. They were all preparation for this moment. Now, with your name known and your identity clear, those challenges no longer define you. They serve as stepping stones, reminders of how far you've come and how much you're capable of. Every hardship you've faced has been a lesson. Every setback a setup for the breakthrough you're experiencing now. This is not a time to shrink back. It's a time to step into the fullness of your potential. Your voice matters, your story matters, and your influence matters. As you walk this path, remember that you were chosen for a reason. Your presence is not an accident. Your purpose is not a coincidence. Embrace the power you hold and use it to create positive change. The world needs what you have to offer, and now is the moment to share it. When you acknowledge that you're chosen, you unlock a new level of confidence. You no longer seek validation from the outside because you know your worth from within. You no longer question your ability because you've already proven that you can rise. And you no longer hide your light because you understand that the world is brighter when you shine. This is a truth you've been waiting to hear. You are chosen, and it's time to step fully into that reality. Comment "I am chosen" if you're ready to embrace your identity and walk boldly in your calling. Share this message. Subscribe for more revelations, and stand tall knowing that you are unstoppable. This isn't the end of your journey. It's the beginning of something greater. You are seen. You are known. And now that your name is in the open, there's no going back. It's time to walk boldly, to own your purpose, and to make your presence felt in this world. With each passing day, your journey becomes more clear. The questions that once haunted you no longer hold power. You have the answers now, or at least the faith to keep moving forward. This newfound clarity isn't just for you. It's meant to ripple outward. Your life becomes a testament, a living example of what's possible when you step into your calling. As you embrace this, you'll notice a shift, not just in how you see yourself, but in how the world responds to you. There's a confidence that comes from knowing who you are, not the kind of confidence that boasts or brags, but the quiet assurance that you were made for this moment. When challenges come, as they inevitably will, you face them differently. You see them as opportunities rather than obstacles. Your identity as someone chosen carries resilience that others can't quite pinpoint, but they feel it. They see it in the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, and the way you refuse to give up. Being chosen isn't about being perfect. It's about being willing to step out, willing to grow, willing to fail and try again. Perfection was never the goal. The goal is progress, purpose, and perseverance. In this light, every mistake becomes a lesson, every detour an adventure, and every challenge a chance to refine your character. As you walk this road, remember that your imperfections do not disqualify you. They make you human. And in your humanity, others find hope. The connections you'll make along this journey are unlike any you've experienced before. People who resonate with your purpose will be drawn to you. They'll see in you a kindred spirit, someone who understands their struggles and dreams. This community of like-minded souls will strengthen you, inspire you, and remind you that you're never alone. Together, you'll create something bigger than anyone you could achieve alone. This isn't just your journey. It's a collective awakening, a shared purpose that binds you to others who are also stepping into their calling. You have permission to dream bigger now, to believe that what you envision isn't too far-fetched or out of reach.